Hi friends, Cole Chance here. Thanks so much for joining me. And today we're going to do a mindfulness meditation. So maybe this is your first time. Maybe you have practiced meditation before or have been curious about it, but I encourage you to stay curious, keep that curiosity as we do this short practice today. One thing that I really like to reiterate to my students and to myself as well is that meditation is not about finding the still point in the mind. Sometimes that happens, but what we're really trying to do is to get to know our minds. And our minds are designed by evolution, thankfully, to think. It keeps us safe. It keeps us alert on all the little things that are going around. But it has a tendency to create this monkey mind of that we're always aware of all these little distractions and stuff. But know that that is part of the mind's job. You know, the nose smells, the eyes see, the ears hear, the mind thinks. So if your mind is like that, then well done. It's doing its job. But our practice in meditation is to observe that and then try to find and focus our attention. So we're going a little bit against the grain, and it can be very challenging and difficult, but that's where the curiosity and a little bit of playfulness comes in. So today we're just going to observe the mind, and maybe you'll get to know it a little bit better. That's what we're hoping for. So go ahead and close your eyes down or let your eyes be heavy. So either way. And then find a comfortable seat. It doesn't have to look like the way that I'm sitting. Maybe you're in a chair. Maybe you are sitting on your shins or on a bolster. Somewhere where you can sit comfortably and be alert. And then make a little bit of space in the body. I like to do a little bit of a spiral wiggle of my spine just so I can kind of get that out of the way. So I don't want to start wiggling here in a moment. And then find stillness. Begin to bring your awareness to your breath. Notice the inhale as it comes all the way in, and the exhale as it begins until it goes all the way out. See if you can trace this and follow this a few rounds of breath. Were you able to stay with it, or did your mind start to do its thing? Very likely that it did. Start to think about the future, or the past, or the to-do list, and that's fine, that's what it does. But if it did, well done on noticing it. And that's what we're really working on here, is that whenever it runs off, we notice it. And then we can bring it back to, say, the breath is what we'll work with today. So when you notice yourself in a thought, you can label it, oh, thinking, and then come back to your inhale and your exhale. There's no right or wrong here. It's very common that you might get through a fourth of your inhale and then you notice that you're off in thought. That's fine. It's the noticing that's so important. So when you notice, you can take a U-turn and come back. Because in our normal day to day, we actually don't notice when we're off in thought. We just live in this little virtual reality. So what we're practicing here is noticing, being mindful and noticing it, and then saying, oh, come back here, puppy mind. Let's try again. In meditation, we very commonly use the breath because it's always there. We can use it as an anchor. So no matter how far we stray, we can always come back to the breath. And it's not happening in the past the way that many of our thoughts are. The breath is also not happening in the future the way that many of our thoughts are. So it's a solid anchor in the present moment. Maybe taking an observation of whether your mind is fairly busy or super chattery or fairly still. Just taking a non-judgmental note about what it's like today. And it shifts. And meditation practice allows us to come back to the steady breath. It's always there day by day, and then we see how we are in relation to it. It's the barometer, or it's the steadiness, and then our mind, we get to see where we are, be the barometer. Isn't it curious? It's a good reminder. Isn't it curious that whatever it is, that it's quick or that it's still? And every time you notice that you're off in thought again, it can be really nice just to label it and say, oh, thinking. Breath. Oop, thinking again. Breath. Let's go 5 more cycles of breath. Deep inhales, deep exhales. Attempting to trace with your observation. One more breath in. Full breath out. Maybe slowly bringing a little movement in the spine, and you can flutter your eyes open when you're ready. So just taking a moment, noticing how that was for you. Some days it can feel fairly easy, but more often than not, for me anyway, it's fairly challenging. My mind is always, off doing its thing. But I think it's really important that we remember that when we notice it, we get to practice compassion here. Whenever we notice it, it's not like, ugh, I'm off again, I can't do this. It's not that. It's like, oh, yes, well done, I noticed it. And then come back. Because what we're wanting to do is to observe the contents of our mind and to understand that, that we're in thought, and to know the difference between being lost in thought and being in the present. So when we notice that we're off and we bring ourselves back, rather than being judgy to ourselves, give yourself a pat on the back. So, aha, I noticed again. That can really change the experience. So I hope that you enjoyed this. Let me know what you thought, and if you'd like to see more videos like this. My meditation practice is so powerful, and it's not easy, but to get to, this is a whole nother level of getting to know ourselves. And I hope that you find it beneficial. So again, my name is Cole Chance. You can find out more about me at colechanceyoga.com. Lots of things going on all the time. And I'm here every Tuesday with YOGATX. So I hope to see you somewhere on your mat.